Good day, good people. This is Stephanie from Dr. Stephanie Creates. And today in this video, I want to share with you how I plan to set up and use my ink journal for 2025. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw a picture of this cute little binder that I found on Amazon. I think it looks like a cute swatch of black ink with some shimmer in it. But again, this was an Amazon find. I'll put the link in the description if you're interested. But I wanted to come on and share with you what my plans are and how I plan to use this throughout the year. So today I plan to swatch red inks that I already own. And that's obvious, duh, because they're here. But what I mean by that is in this ink journal, I want to catalog, what is already in my collection. In another journal, I will be cataloging inks as I get them throughout the year. And hopefully that won't be many, but I plan to do that in another book. I want this one to just kind of act as a catalog for what I already own. If you look on the side here, you'll see that I've created some tabs and I've already color coded them with the red, green, purple, blue, brown, if you can see it, and black. And all the colors in between will just have to find a place within these primary colors. Then also after the color section, I have already gone in and categorized, if I can find it, the pens that I already own. Now, keep in mind, I've been in the planner community for a while, but as far as the hobby of fountain pens and inks, I just got into that in April of 2024. So hasn't even been a year yet. And hopefully this year I won't do as much damage as I did in 2024. But I've gone ahead and listed the pens that I own by brand. And I'm just keeping a running list of that as well here in the back. I chose a ring binder for all of this just for the ease of being able to put pages in and take pages out as I see fit, rather than having a bound book and having to skip through it or hold pages or, predetermine how many pages I need for this and that. So that was the main reason for choosing a binder. Okay, so today the color we're going to look at is the color red. I've gone ahead and stamped out a few pages, and I'm going to try my best to do this while they're still in the binder. However, I may take them out as I go. It just depends. I don't want to create a big old mess. I also want to try a couple of different ways of laying these inks down. I do use the Q-tips. You guys have seen me use those before. I have some pipettes here today to kind of try that method. I also have an acrylic block. I've seen YouTubers use that to spread the ink around, but I probably won't do that today since I've stamped out a jar. And then I also have the spoon method that I've seen YouTubers use as well. And I may use that today. Who knows? I just put them all here so that they could all be, within arm's reach as we work through these colors. Also, I'm going to attempt to use my ornamental nib from Speedball, and I may try to write with this glass nib pen. You guys know, and in some of my previous videos where you saw me working with inks, I'll lay down the color and just write what the ink is with just a normal pen, regardless to the color of it, because it doesn't necessarily have to be anything fancy to state what it is. You know what I mean. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do is just lay the colors as I pick them up. I am not going to give myself added pressure or added stress by trying to make them filter through the rainbow, such as lighter reds to darker reds to shimmer reds. It's going to be how I pick them up. Okay, so with all of that being said, let's just go ahead and get started with the first ink. And the first ink I'm going to pick up is a Diamine ink sample called Carnival. You guys know that I am an ink shaker. And I am a lefty. And let's just lay down some ink. Okay. This is diamine or diamine, however you pronounce it. And this is the color Carnival. Okay. And I'm going to write here. Sorry, you guys know I have the left hand slant, so let me just move some of this out of the way. And this is diamine. Don't want to misspell Carnival. Okay. Next, we have another diamine ink, Poinsettia or Poinsettia, just depends on where you are from and if you are from the South or not. Let's look at this color. Another pretty red ink. I like that. Okay. It's a brighter red than the Carnival. And again, this is diamine. Poinsettia. Okay, with this paper, let's just see. Not really any bleed through per se. So that's good. Okay, our next sample we have is Monteverde. The color is called Passion. I can tell already that this seems to be a darker red. Oh, okay. Yep, that's a darker red. Okay. And Passion is what this one is called. Sorry that I've gotten quiet on you guys, but trying to concentrate just a little bit. And then the next sample we have is Diplomat Red. So it just simply says Diplomat and red. Okay, let's see. Almost dipped that back in the water. Not yet. Let's see. Diplomat red. Get a little bit more. Trying to be too careful and then not getting enough on the nib. Okay. Diplomat red. Okay, and already with these four starting to dry, we see four very different reds in my opinion on this first sheet. And what I think I'm going to do is take the sheet out and move it rather than trying to flip it over so that it can dry. Okay. All right. Let's move on. So I'll move these 4 out of the way. Okay. Let's try Sailor Manyo U. And I know this one is not a red, but I think it still fits in the category of red. So that's why I've pulled it out to be used during this red ink exploitation. It's got a little brown and a little orange in it, but I still consider it to fit in the red family. I think it's a beautiful color. After I tried the sample, I fell in love, and so I ended up getting a bottle. But again, this is from the Sailor Manyo line. I hope I'm saying that correct. You guys know with my little country accent. Sailor Manyo, and then I think the color is pronounced just U. Okay. All right. Next, we have one of my favorites. And if you've been following me on Instagram or even YouTube, even though my channel is a little new, you'll know that I love A Study of Scarlet. This is a Wear and Go ink. This is a Wear and Go red. One of my favorites already, hands down. It's just a beautiful traditional red. I hope it doesn't make a liar out of me when it dries. So it looks a little different right now on this paper. But it's one of my favorite red inks that I have. Again, this is a Wear and Go ink. It is called A Study in Scarlet. I think I said of Scarlet. But it is a Wear and Go. A Study in Scarlet. And I just got into the Wear and Go inks towards the end of 2024. I have a girlfriend who lives out in California. We did an ink swap. She loves Wear and Go inks, so she sent me a few. So the actual brand was very new to me. And then when I fell hard. I do have a video up already on my channel where I did about 10 different Wear and Go inks that I bought all in one package, and I love them. So make sure you check that video out if you haven't seen it. Next, we have another Monteverde ink, and this is called Ruby. Okay. I don't think I've ever inked a pen with Ruby yet. And she seems to be another traditional red as well. There are slight variations in these reds, and I know you guys are probably thinking, what person can have all of these red inks? Well, think about those of you that love blues and purples, which I'm not opposed to them, but I'm just not in love with them. So my reds in number are probably in the same number as your blues and purples. Okay, my bad. Let me write that down. This is Monteverde. And this is Ruby. And I hope that the camera is doing these reds some justice as they're starting to dry a little bit. Okay. Still no bleed through per se, so the paper is holding up to the inks. Okay, now we have a Herbon ink. This is called Rouge Granette. You know that means red. Not gonna butcher these names if I can help it. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, this has some darkness to it. Pretty though. Very pretty. Okay. Okay, and this is a Jacques Herbon. This is Rouge. Okay. All right, again, we have various different tones here. I'll take these out as well and let them dry. Okay. If I'm moving slow, I do apologize. I'll try to speed up because we do got a few more to get through. Okay, this is Diamine Red Dragon. This is a red that I like as well. Well, I like them all, but a red that I've used so far, because I have to be honest, some of these I have not used. I just fell in love with the samples because I did start out the year or start out the hobby stating, okay, Stephanie, get a sample, see if you like it. If you like it and can justify the purchase, then you can get a bottle. So these bottles that you see, I have had samples first, with the exception of a few. And we're getting ready to talk about those two in a minute. But this Red Dragon is one of my first inks that I ever purchased. And that swatch is too much that I just did. That swatch is not going to do it any justice, I can tell. But this is a very good, like I say, traditional red ink. And I do like this ink. And I have used this ink in a few pens. Again, this is Red Dragon, Diamine Red Dragon. Kind of trying to move that ink just a little bit so it can settle a little different on the page. Next, we have a cult favorite, as they say. It's the Diamine Oxblood. Okay. You girlies run for the Oxblood and the Rider's Blood. And the Rider's Blood I don't even have. I haven't even tried the Rider's Blood. But I know that's a good one as well. But this is the Oxblood because it has a nice darker tint to it, giving it a little more brown to it. And again, another one of the first inks that I ever tried. Now, Diamine as a whole was the first brand. Well, I can't say the first brand, but the first brand that I bought actual bottles of because they come in the 30 ml bottle, and for a great price. I can find them as low as $7.50 a bottle. So that was the first brand that I just gravitated towards when I decided to get bottles, because those bottles are small enough to actually use up. And I'm sorry if I keep swatching, sliding and moving the notebook, but I want you to guys to kind of see my swatches. Now, when I was talking about inks that I tried from a swatch first, I have two Octopus Fluid inks that I did not try, or excuse me, as a sample first. I have a girlfriend who travels a lot for work. I jokingly tell her that she lives in Canada, which she does. Every other week she's in Canada. And she went to, I'm not even going to lie on the shop because I can't even think of the shop's name. But at that shop at the time, I knew that they sold Octopus Fluid inks. And it was when I was on the search for the blackest black I could find before I found my platinum Chikuro. I think I'm saying that wrong, but not the platinum carbon black, but the one that's even darker than that. Anyway, Octopus Fluid makes a black called Elephant, and I was on the hunt for that black. And so while she went to the shop to get me that black, she found two colors in the red company, or in the red colorway. Lord, I need my words to come out right. In the red colorway. And one of them was this one by Octopus Fluids called Weinrot. But I think that's German, so it would be Weinrot. But this is one that's in the red family, but it has a little more grape tone to it, in my opinion. So this is one of two that she brought me back, because needless to say, I didn't finish the story. The Octopus Elephant was out of stock, so she didn't even get to get the one I was looking for and the one she went for. I ended up finding a sample of it through another shop later. And see, right now, while they're both wet, those look pretty similar to me. The Oxblood and the Weinrot. Also in that same brand is this Octopus Fluid in Rot. This one has a little bit more of true red in it. Uh-oh. See? I'm going to learn. I am going to learn. Because what I'm going to do is just leave that drop there and let it dry, and then try to cover it up or do something with it after it dries. Because I really want to react right now, but all I'm going to do is make it worse if I mess with it right now. But I'm going to learn, because I should have dipped my pen in and set the jar back down, instead of just holding it in the air and running off at the mouth. But it's going to be okay, because at the end of the day, it's what? Just paper. And again, this is another Octopus Fluid ink called Rot. Yeah, these two are looking a lot alike. Okay, just a few more. Bear with me. I'm going to move these over, because some of these have some shimmer in it. Well, as a matter of fact, All of these have shimmer in it except for this Diamine Blood Orange. It does not have a shimmer, but then the rest of them do. So let's do this one first. Let's lay this Blood Orange down first. And see, it is just that. To me, this is a perfect mix of a red and an orange. And it comes out so pretty in a medium nib, because I started out as a medium nib. I've moved to fine, and I've actually moved to an extra fine in one of my TWSBIs, my TWSBI VAC. But I write big, so most of my nibs are medium and fine. But this Blood Orange, again, is from the 150-year celebration of Diamine. Sorry, trying to blow off a little bit of these particles. I have to say, too, as a lefty, and laying that on the left side of the paper is a little tricky to then turn around and write. But I think it'll work, and if not, I'll come up with something else in the future. But for right now, that's what we're going to go with, and that's Blood Orange. Okay, so now we move into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more inks, and these are shimmer. Well, I can do it this way. This is another Diamine ink, and I'm going to write what it is first. And this is called All the Best. It says here that this is from the red edition of the Inkvent calendars. Then let's do this one. This is going to be KWZ. All That Glitters, and this is called Firecracker. Let me put All That Glitters here. And then another Diamine. I do like this one. I've used this one in a pen too, especially during the Christmas season. This is your Spiced Apple. Okay, let's do it that way. So what was first? All the Best. Let's shake it up because it's got a little shimmer in it. Okay. Hopefully I picked up some shimmer in this swatch. Just seems to have a little purplish, pinkish hue to it as well. Let me lay down a good one. I want to see that one dry. Okay. That is All the Best. The next one we had is Firecracker, and look, before I even shake it, you see all that shimmer? That's going to be pretty. Let me slide this up a little bit. And I know you're supposed to just agitate the shimmer. Maybe I just shake it to death. But I want to get a good swatch. Okay. Oh yeah, that's pretty. And that's got a good orange tint to it. That shimmer mixed in well. This is going to be pretty when it dries because it's pretty nice and wet. Okay. I was tempted to draw a line, but I didn't do it with all the other inks, and I kind of wanted to stay uniform. That's the anal part of me. Because again, it's my book and I can do what I want. But then I want it to be uniform. So, no lines right now. And then this last sample shimmer that I'm shaking is Spiced Apple. And then bear with me, we have just 2 more. See, I almost made a mess. Look at this Spiced Apple. Oh, wow. That's pretty. And like I said, I've used this one before. It's going to be pretty when it dries too if you haven't seen Spiced Apple, but I'm sure if you're watching this video, you have. And if you haven't, you'll be in for a surprise. Hopefully, it dries and looks good on this paper. Okay, and we need one more fresh page for the last 2. Oh no. Don't know where that little drop came from, but I'm going to put a little piece of white out right there. Let's see. So, of course, you know, they always act up when we're recording. There we go. Okay. Now, the last 2 are Van Diemen's, and I have to admit that both of these shimmers have me in a chokehold. You've seen this lion roar. You also see how I don't have much of it left. But don't worry. Once this dwindles down, I will break my no buy, low buy to get another one. Just putting it out there. Not going to tell a lie. I love this lion's roar. Okay, let's do it again. Let's write it beforehand. This is Van Diemen's. Lion's roar. And then this is Van Diemen's, but I'll shake it in a minute when I get to it to use it. This is Red Lightning. And again, my Canadian girlfriend, as I call her, she grabbed this ink for me too. Did she get this from Wonder Pens? I don't know. I'm not gonna tell the story wrong if I can help it. Okay. Lion's Roar. I don't know if you guys can see it already, but I can see the shimmer just floating on the top of the ink as I'm laying it down. Just beautiful, just pretty. And when I started out, going back again, was not really into shimmer. And I think it's because I just didn't really know or understand the whole shimmering situation. Going back to that same girlfriend, she loved shimmer running right out the gate. I was a little more leery with what it all had to do with regarding your pens and the nibs and how it looked to write with them. But now I'm kind of digging it. And this is Red Lightning with red shimmer. See why I'm in the chokehold? Pretty. Okay. Last one. If you're still with me, I appreciate you sticking with me. I must say to date, I think this is my longest video. I try not to keep them long because I know I don't watch long videos either, so I wouldn't expect you to. But I had to get through my beautiful red inks. Okay. And look at that. Gorgeous. And right now they're looking the same, but I can tell you the distinct difference will be the shimmer when they dry. This one is a golden shimmer, and this is a red on red. The shimmer is red. That's what the distinct difference is going to be. Okay, so at this point, those are all of the red inks that I have in my collection. I'm going to take this one out and just move it over to bring the others back up. They're still trying to dry for the most part. But here is the first page. And that poinsettia is interesting because it does not look like that when I'm writing. So that's interesting to say the least. Here's our second page. Okay. Here's our third page with the little ink splat that I dropped. Okay. And then here's the fourth page that is still kind of wet. Well, still a lot of wet. So interesting. Also, this paper is the Aerofull paper from Amazon. It's the same paper that I have in my actual bound book that I do my currently inks in. So it is the same paper. And again, this paper I found off of Amazon. And I found through a YouTuber. Is her name Elise Morgan? I think so, unless I'm saying it wrong. And Elise, if you're watching this, I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. But I found out about this paper through her. So far, the verdict is still out on the paper, especially since I'm looking at these swatches right now. And I don't know if they all really look realistic to me, meaning how they come out when I write with them in my journals and in my planners, because some of my planners do have Tomoe River paper, some of them don't. And so I know all the drama with that, not talking about that, but just in the shading of the paper versus how the ink lays and how it dries, how it sheens or shimmers when it dries. And even though this paper is whiter, as in white, the color, it's whiter than the pages in my planners or journals. I just don't know. So right now the verdict is still out, but I will keep you guys posted on that as we move forward. But for now, this is where we're at. And again, this is my red ink exploration in my new journal set up for 2025. I hope that you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Please ask questions in the comments if you have any. And until the next one, love on your family, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.